What's up guys, Firebird R&R here. So, in this video, we're going to fix a small problem I have. So, my room's small, and I don't have a conventional bed. I have a sofa bed, which means I have this gap between my bed and the wall. Because I don't want mold growing down here, because fabric will just absorb any moisture in the air, and then goes to mold on the wall. So, in this video, we're creating a side table so I can put my coffee here, that sort of thing. Flip up a little bit of storage for my sewing supplies. So, let's see how it goes. This video is just me experimenting with reclaimed wood and, scrap projects, stuff like that. And trying out new techniques, such as veneering, that I've never done before. Enjoy. Alright, back from lunch now. I just have to get this off and then cut these side bits here. And you cut these to the right width, which I've just been experimenting for a few minutes off camera, just because I forgot to record, and I've dialed in just how long I need the pieces, and then I'm also going to cut in these little mortises for these metal brackets. Oh, excuse me. For these brackets to sit in to hold the top's shape. Don't forget safety. And then I can chuck the scrap over there. And I can also use these pliers just to snip off the pins, because this table was a project that got dismantled and we sold the marble top from. So just gonna trim off these pins and I'm just gonna batter the pins flush with the wood to save time and energy. One good thing about this workbench is fucking expensive. Is the little vice clamp things. They're just little protrusions that you can use to hold pieces of wood sideways. So there's that. Where's the other bit I'm looking for? There it is. Little center punch. Just back on the top. Outside instead of battering. Instead of battering the pins through again, what I'm going to do instead is just follow them down a bit. Never mind, found some actual snips. So these go basically right to the wood. It just means that you don't have as much work to do. And they also clamp a lot easier. Not my favorite style, but they work. And then you can just follow them down much easier and then use a center punch. Knock them below the surface. So I just thought, because of the size that I need, I can in fact cut where these tenons were originally cut. I am going to measure how deep they are just so that I have the right size for these. But I can cut where the tenons are, and there's still a little bit of wiggle room on the side there. I'll flip my camera around to show you better, but this means that, for example, I could cut these bits off, and then that center bit is still larger than what I need. So, having said that, what that means is I can cut them off, have the scrap bit, and cut the tenons right. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this part that I measured to the correct size earlier, just a bit of an offcut. I removed this from the sides, which is what these are from, like the little pins, that's what these are from, because this was originally a scrapped project that we attempted to sell. Don't get us wrong, we attempted to sell it, but it just wouldn't sell. So I'm just marking it to the correct size, and I'm going to use square to get, square. Using a relatively sharp pencil as well, just so I get a thin line. Preferably I'd be using the flat joiner pencils, but I don't have any here today. So then I'm going to fit that line. And just to try avoid blowout, I'm going to mark it with this. So there's this little valley. And I just do this to avoid blowout. So now what I have to do is I have to do the mortise. I know I said tenon earlier, but it's actually the mortise for these metal brackets. So what I have to do is I have to measure 55 in. That's 55 millimeters. So 5.5 centimeters.